I think the biggest change in the settlement system over the last 50 years has been the increasing efficiency of it.
Come Josephine in my flying machine going up. She goes up, she goes. Balance yourself like a bird on a beam in the air. She goes, there she goes. Up, up, a little bit higher. Oh. Here is the drag, see how it goes. Down on the heels, up on the toes. That's the way.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, you cry all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
As the airlines decided they wanted to have more marketing reach, they appointed travel agents in turn to do that. And it wasn't long before, back when we got into it in 1959, that you had to be appointed by each individual air carrier.
From an airline perspective, there's a lot of benefit in the agency system at that time because agents provided geographic coverage. The only way to fly was with a paper ticket. You had to buy it somewhere, and buying it at the last minute at the airport probably wasn't the most wise course of action for the consumer.
Every airline had to have their stock in every individual agency. So if there were 1,000 travel agents, they'd have to provide tickets to each of the 1,000 agents, and whatever they had to set up for a reporting frequency, if it was every 10 days or twice a month, they would get 1,000 reports in.
When it came time to settle the dollars that arose from those transactions, that was a bilateral arrangement between each agent and each carrier.
A gentleman came along from Braniff that said there must be a better way. And he came up with the concept of a standard ticket and centralized reporting and settlement. So a travel agent only had to hold one stock of standard tickets and report to a central place. And it took 2 years before the government approved it, and it was launched in 1964.
The area settlement plan permitted the centralization of the process.
The first year of settlement for the new standard ticket plan, that being 1965, there were 5,080 agents submitting $874 million for 37 different carriers. That's pretty good for the first year.
The carriers then kind of turned to what would be the next best structure and format for the travel agency program. And they selected a corporate structure and also determined that they would go to the U.S. Department to seek a business review letter, which would grant, from the government's perspective, immunization from any antitrust challenges. When ARC was formed, there were a number of legal issues that were associated with its creation. In September of 1984, just a few days after the Articles of Incorporation were filed in the state of Delaware, an antitrust complaint was filed by the Association of Retail Travel Agencies, known as ARTA, against the Air Transport Association and its participating carriers. ARC was not added as a named defendant in that case until after it began operations sometime later. But the corporation basically started operations with a very major legal challenge confronting it. In April of 1987, the parties to the dispute, which would have been ARC's representative from the Air Transport Association, and the Association of Retail Travel Agencies, reached an agreement to settle the antitrust litigation.
When I came to ARC in 1988, what I found was a very paper-intensive process. We had to get rid of the paper. And we started in 1990-91 with the concept of having an electronic reporting system. Electronic reporting saved the industry huge amounts of money.
The issue of the annual fee that ARC collects from the travel agents has been kind of an area of ongoing controversy between ARC and the travel agents really since ARC's inception.
Carriers had expressed some dissatisfaction with the fact that agents were only paying 10% of ARC's cost.
There were times when we were able to resolve things by discussion and negotiation, and there were times when we couldn't.
We were taken to arbitration, and the agency community prevailed. That really drove a lot of reflection about our culture as an organization, and became the launch pad for a lot of new initiatives designed to bring ARC and agents together, to bring ARC and agents and carriers together, to collaborate to move the industry forward as opposed to dictate how to move the industry forward.
I think the fact that ARC exists kind of in the middle from the reporting and settlement side, providing a service that both entities benefit from greatly, does provide that all-important opportunity to talk.
We've really come a long way in our relationships with ARC in particular. We don't always agree. It's not necessary to always agree. What is necessary is to try to work together where we have mutual interests and recognize what those are. So we're talking more with ARC, fighting less. Everybody is learning to play better together. And I think this is a huge benefit to all.
Between ARC, the agency community, and the airlines, we are a very powerful force, and there's a lot of brain power between the three of us that can be leveraged and solve problems.
The commercial environment that ARC has been able to create for both travel agencies and airlines has been phenomenal. I think without the services that they provide in the settlement space, the travel agency community would not be as vibrant as they are today, nor would airlines be able to do all the things that they've been able to do in terms of distributing their content to customers across the United States.
The travel agency community in the U.S. still generates 60% of the revenue at United Airlines in the U.S. That's a significant number. Those agency partners help connect us to customers we never could touch on our own with the sales force. And I think that's where the partnership is. They drive better efficiencies, they manage the full booking process that airlines aren't set up to do. If you think of the entire travel management chain, from pre-travel, during travel, and post-travel issues that may arise, duty of care, and they also drive excellent yield to the airline industry.
When I look into the future, 5-10 years from now, sometimes I believe that we might be more of a tech company in the travel business than a travel agency using technology. It's all around us, and we have to embrace that, and we have to leverage the technology that comes out to make our customers' experience better, because they are bombarded with technology all day long.
I've seen the travel agencies, they're changing their business plan, just like the airlines are changing their business plan as technology changes and advances. What we need to ensure, though, is that we change together and partner, because together we will build a better industry for the future.
We don't know what's going to be in the future. I do know that there are going to be agents, and that there are going to be airlines, and they're going to have needs around settlement, around data, around enhancements to the way they serve customers that ARC is going to need to be able to support. So our emphasis really is on customer knowledge. You are going to see ARC investing more in really understanding, really getting close to our customers to not only understand their needs, but to anticipate those needs going forward.
Looking at my calendar, Tuesday is in sight. I can't stand another sleepless Monday night. I've been processing manually since prehistoric times, but finally from ARC this came to ease my mind. I for interactive all the way. A is for the agents who sell tickets every day. R is for reporting, put it to the test. Add it all together, prescription for success. Accurate and timely, don't settle for less. Access IAR using any CRS. Ticket information info, one simple file.